Yo guys, I'm Nick from the Produce School and welcome back to a brand new video. In this video I will show you guys how to make a remix in the style of Meduza. Meduza is one of my favorite deep house artists and lately they have been putting out a lot of fire remixes. Today I'm going to show you how to do something like that yourself. Today we're going to use the Love Tonight, which is blowing up lately, and we're going to create a Meduza remix of that. So first of all, this is the original.
When you're tired, when you're lonely, can just reach out and hold us together.
Today we're going to turn this into this. I will now just go over all the elements that are in this remix. I thought it was easier doing it like this, otherwise the video would be a bit too long. But right now I will just explain every element that we used here, and also some mixing, sound design, just everything in this project in general. The first thing you directly see is that we have a cappella. It's not of the greatest quality, but when you're making a remix, it can come in pretty handy to have an a cappella. So always search for one on YouTube, even though if it's not the best quality, it can still help you. Also in transitions and stuff like that, if you just put a lot of delay and effects on it, you won't really notice the low quality. And that's what we did here. We used the a cappella as a filtered backing vocal actually in the build-up. And that sounds like this. The way this vocal is pushed to the back is by a radio filter and a lower dry level on the reverb. This just pushes the vocal back into your mix down, which sounded pretty cool. The most important part of these kind of remixes is a low kind of Reese bass, which is the typical Meduza bass. And it's from our pack Cosmic in this case, which sounds like this. I just searched for the root note of the track. In this case it was a C. You can just try it out just by yourself, or you can even search it on internet, like sites like TuneBed. They normally also display the key that your track is in. By the way, we were lucky because this track was 123 BPM and most of the Meduza remix are also in that range, so we can keep it like that. Sometimes when you're trying to make a remix, it can be a bit tricky. For example, if you try to remix a poppy song that's 170 or 85 BPM, it can be pretty hard to speed it up to a house kind of tempo. But you just need to try it out. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Move on to a next track. And eventually you will definitely find something that works. The sound is Bass Born. It's one of the most liked presets from the Cosmic pack. Myself, I also really like it. So the preset is actually also not that complicated. Actually, that are two saws, but this is the saw run to square, so it's kind of a mixture between a saw and a square. Then there's a filter with envelope 2 linked to it. The cutoff is not fully opening, but in the beginning there's a bit of highs in the bass, which gives that really punchy beginning in the bass, if you get what I mean. Then there is a reverb on it, just a tiny bit with a low cut on it, so there's no reverb on the lowest part of the bass. And that's basically it for that bass, and that sounds like this. Keep in mind that you don't turn the cutoff down completely. You want to have some sub and bass frequencies throughout the drop as well, because this bass is only hitting like once. You want some response, so you still have bass throughout your track, throughout your drop. That's really important for this style, so I had to mention it. As you can see, the rhythm of this is just too simple. There's nothing crazy, it's just like a note every 2 bars. The bass line itself, it's totally not complicated. It's just Just make sure that you have something deep and fat. The mixing on the bass is also pretty easy. There's a parametric EQ which rolls off some of the high frequencies. Then there is a British clean with the master volume turned down a bit, otherwise it would get a bit too hard in the mix. And then there is a FabFilter Pro Q3. Yeah, this just removes some of the boxiness of the low frequencies in the sound. That's it for the bass. Really simple, but yet it's still really effective. So let's move on to the top synth. For the top synth, I created a sound myself. It's not in a pack, but if you guys like it, I could leave a link to this preset in combination with the mixer track. Because the preset itself is so easy. It's just, let me turn off the mixer, and then it sounds like this. Literally, it's the default wavetable in Serum, and then there is the MG-Low 18 filter with this envelope linked to it. Well, it's an LFO, but it's set on envelope mode. Yeah, it's opening up to like, I think 75% or something, and that's it for that sound. The melody is basically just the bass note and then some variation between lower and higher notes, and then in some parts there is another note hitting as well. For example, this is all a C, but right then there are also a D hitting. That's just for some variety in the drop. The most important part of this synth is the mixing. As you can see, there's quite a lot on this, so let's turn this on, and then it sounds like this. So there's a British clean on this as well. I really like Camel Crusher British clean just to make things a little bit more fat, as you might see in another video as well. So then there is this EQ which boosts some of the high mids and which cuts out the really the sub frequencies. This layer is also kind of a bassy layer because I decided to keep some of the low mids and the bass frequencies in it just because that made the drop a bit fatter. Then there is this tiny low mid cut, a delay, which is really important. The input level is turned down a bit. The time is set to 2, and also the feedback is a bit filtered, which I really like to do in my delay. Then the output wet level is turned down a bit as well. That's it basically for the delay. I really like Fruity Delay 3. I started using it lately. Beforehand I was using Valhalla Delay and Fruity Delay 2, but I really like this, so I will just continue using this. Then there is a Soothe. Soothe is a dynamic resonance suppressor, which means that it automatically searches for resonating frequencies that are not great to listen to, and it will automatically try to delete them. You still have some control if you don't want them to completely be removed or just a tiny bit, and also where you want them to be removed, for example, more in the higher area, lower area, etc. But that's Soothe. There's a lot to say about this plugin, but it's a really great plugin, so you can check it out if you want to. Then there's this reverb with quite some decay, and the wet level is set to 67%. Together with the original sound, that sounds like this. If you're familiar with the Medusa remixes, you can already hear that it sounds quite a lot like them. On top of the bottom, I decided to put some chords. This is just the basic Medusa synth, which is also from the pack. The preset looks like this. It's a saw wave combined with a square wave running through a filter. The envelope is pretty long, with some release on it as well. And then there are some effects like chorus, delay, reverb, and EQ. I only had to do some EQing in the post-processing part because yeah, it's basically already processed inside Serum. Then you should not forget to add a lot of uplifters, ambient effects, and stuff like that to the build-up. which sounds like this. As you can hear, the sounds are pretty simple, but combined to create a lot of like ambience to your track. And together with the bass and stuff I showed you, you have a really cool build-up already. So let me show that to you. I also want to show some automations in the build-up. So you have these filters which are getting rid of the low end in the bass and the synth. Then there's another filter which is filtering out the original sound, which is a pretty cool effect. And then there's an endless smile on the bassy kind of top synth. Also there's a filter cutoff of the serum cutoff of the bass. That sounds like this.
You'll never be alone.
So for the drop, it will be pretty easy as you already have the bass and the top synth, which is the main element of the drop as well. Some things we want to add is a kick and also a like low tommy percussion, which sounds like this. Together with a down filter, that's already it for the first bar. Then I created this clap fill, which is like 2 claps, one without delay and one with a delay on it. In the second bar, a simple head is coming in as well. And in the second part of the drop, there is a clap and a drum loop added as well. On top of that, I added a crash. These are all samples from the Vision Pack, so make sure to check that out as well. On top of this, there is the original vocal without delay.
All I need is your love tonight.
And that's basically it for this Medusa style remix. This is just a basic overview on how to get the sound like them. I will now show you the end result once again.
Us together, nothing's ever felt more like home. No, I'll be there. You will never be alone. All I
If you guys like this video, make sure to smash that thumbs up. If you are interested in sounds like this, go to the link in the description where you can get a big overview of all the sounds that are in our pack Vision. Also let us know some suggestions for what you want to see on our channel in the upcoming weeks. We are planning on doing some new videos for you guys, so any suggestions are welcome. For now, I want to thank you guys for watching and I see you guys next time.